Assalamu alaikum. So today we will be talking about arrays as they are the simplest and most used data structures. Now we will be talking about arrays. By looking at the definition of arrays, they are the data structure which are finite order set of homogeneous structures. There are two words we need to concentrate about, that is finite and homogeneous. What is meant by finite? Like when we declare any array, so we have to give the size of an array, and once we have given a certain size to any array, then we have no option left to rechange it or to resize it. So this is meant by finite. Now coming to homogeneous structure, when we declare array as an integer array, so we can't add characters in it or floats in it. So what happens is the data type we give to array, it will just keep those data types in that array, otherwise we will get errors in our array. Now let's take an example to understand more about arrays. You have gone to a party and the host has arranged a game. There are two conditions to play that game. One is that the host has allowed only 5 members to play that game, and only the boys will be playing the game. So as we talked about array, we said that it is finite and it's a homogeneous structure. So also the game is following these two rules, that it is finite, it has 5 members. So when if the sixth member wants to come and play that game, he just can't play the game. Also any girl can't play the game because the data type boys is defined. If we want to find out the size of array, we can find out by using the formula upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. What is meant by upper bound and lower bound? Lower bound is basically the 0 index and upper bound is the nth index, means the last index of our array. And also to add one thing, that in Java and C++, Python, our indexing starts from 0. Now we will be talking about the types of array. There are two types of array. One is one-dimensional array and the other is multi-dimensional array. Whatever we discussed earlier was about one-dimensional array. So now let's talk about multi-dimensional array. So there is a 2D array which has two dimensions. One is the row and second is the column. So like when we give the syntax, we give it like we declare the data type, then we give the variable, and then we use two square brackets. What is the use of 2D arrays? When we store our data in MS Excel, so we store it in our rows and columns. Just that in 3D arrays, we are using 3 squares. As we discussed earlier that we can't resize our arrays, but there is a way to resize our arrays. And why we need to resize our arrays? When we have a lot of data to store, what would we do? And we have to insert data time by time, new data time by time. So we have to use array lists. Basically they are dynamic arrays and they are capable of shrinking the array and expanding the array. Also they had some extra features of adding and popping the elements without disturbing your array. That's a great thing. And also we have a method in array list that is called ensure capacity. What happens in ensure capacity is when we define our ensure capacity, so it would use only that space in our memory, and so more memory won't be used in our computer. That would be beneficial to use array list.